In today's lesson, we'll be learning how to transform a quadratic relation. Over here, you'll see an equation of a quadratic relation in vertex form. If you recall, vertex form tells you if it is opening upwards or downwards, and it also tells you the vertex. For this specific quadratic relation, our a value is actually +1. Our a value tells us if there's a reflection across the x-axis. In other words, is it opening upwards or opening downwards? Is it smiling or is it frowning? Since this is +1, that means it is opening upwards or smiling. Our a value also tells us if there's a vertical stretch or compression, but we will learn about that in a later lesson. Next, our h value is +9. Our h value tells us if there's a horizontal translation. In other words, has the parabola been moved to the right or to the left? Since this is +9, that means it's being moved to the right. And lastly, our k value is +3. And our k value tells us if there's a vertical translation. In other words, has the parabola been moved upwards or downwards? Since this is +3, it's being moved upwards. In conclusion, we know that our parabola is going to be opening upwards or smiling. It has been moved 9 units to the right and 3 units upwards. If you recall, this is the parent function of a quadratic relation. The equation is y equals x squared, and this is the most simplest form of a quadratic relation before any transformations has been done to it. According to our instructions from before, our newly transformed parabola should be opening upwards. It should be 9 units to the right and 3 units up. I'm going to start by moving my vertex 9 units to the right and 3 units up. I'm going to move another point 9 units to the right and 3 units up. I'm going to move yet another point 9 units to the right and 3 units up. And I can do the exact same thing to my last 2 points. Take a look at our newly transformed parabola in green. It is opening upwards. It has been moved 9 units to the right, and it has been moved 3 units upwards. In our second example, our a value is +1, which means our parabola is opening upwards or smiling. Over here, this looks like +3, but in order for it to be +3, it had to be originally -3 because 2 negatives make a positive, which means our original h value was actually -3, which means our parabola has been translated 3 units to the left since this is a negative value. And over here, this looks like -8. However, our original k value must have been -8 because when you have a plus and minus sign, that simplifies to a minus sign. So our original k value was -8, which means our parabola has been translated downward since this is negative. According to our instructions, our newly transformed parabola needs to be opening upwards. In other words, it has to be smiling. It should be 3 units to the left and 8 units down. I'm going to begin by moving my vertex 3 units to the left and 8 units down. Next, I'm going to move a second point 3 units to the left and 8 units down. And yet again, I'll be moving a third point 3 units to the left and 8 units down. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing to the remaining 2 points. As you can see, my newly transformed parabola is opening upwards. In other words, it's smiling. It has been moved 3 units to the left, and it has been moved 8 units downward.